ahora mismos?
So this movie wins the award for Most Complicated Elevator Pitch of the Year. Seriously, trying to map out everything going on here is gonna take a minute. Emilia Perez is the adaptation of an opera that itself was based off of a 2018 French novel, is France's entry for Best International Film at the upcoming Academy Awards, and is directed by one of France's most acclaimed directors, but takes place mostly in Mexico with stops in Bangkok, Tel Aviv, Switzerland, and London, is mostly performed in English and Spanish, has a 4-year time skip roughly 30 minutes in, is about a lawyer helping a Mexican cartel kingpin transition from a man to a woman, and it premiered on Netflix. And it's a musical. Is it the best movie of the year? Certainly not, but it might be the most movie of 2024. That description was just a portion of the insane juggling act this film attempts to pull off, and to its credit, it mostly succeeds, but it definitely could have benefited from 1 or 2 ideas getting shaved off. The story sees Zoe Saldana as Rita Castro, an unappreciated lawyer working in Mexico who gets recruited by a cartel kingpin for a highly lucrative assignment: help them quietly undergo a sex change, fake their deaths so they can start a new life elsewhere, and send their wife and kids to live in Switzerland with the belief that they're dead. Saldana succeeds, but after 4 years, the kingpin, having now taken the identity of Emilia Perez, finds her and asks her to bring her wife and kids back to Mexico City so she can live with them while posing as a wealthy, long-lost aunt. Now, if that seems like a chaotic story, it is, but all of that takes about 1/4 of the film's runtime, after which things slow down and we get a few abrupt tone changes. It feels like the filmmakers had a great idea for the premise and an admittedly poetic finale, but couldn't find a way to bridge the two, and thus we get a saggy middle act. As for the musical aspects, it's the biggest mixed bag of the film. Some of the songs get the big staging and choreography you'd expect, while other times they're just merely delivering lines through song. Oftentimes the film will be shot as a serious drama, then suddenly one of the characters will just start rapping their dialogue. It's a pretty jarring effect that pulled me out a couple of times. The movie generated quite a bit of buzz for winning a few awards at this year's Cannes Film Festival, and on top of the expected Best Picture nomination, Saldana and Selena Gomez have been discussed as potential Best Actor nominees. I feel like Gomez is going to be hit or miss with audiences. Her character calls for her to be this hot mess getting put through the ringer thanks to life-altering decisions made without her knowledge, but she never goes fully unhinged even when the story calls for it. Saldana gets the 2 best musical performances, one to open the movie and another about halfway through. But while the film initially pushes her as its lead, she takes a noticeable step back in the second half. And that's mostly due to Karla Sofia Gascon's show-stealing performance as Emilia. As a trans actress, she plays Emilia both pre- and post-operation and brings a unique energy to both incarnations. She goes from intimidating and domineering to vivacious and charitable, yet never loses a layer of sympathy from the audience. As for what I imagine will be the eye-catching transition story point, at least from my perspective, it was handled respectfully. There's no bigotry lobbed Emilia's way, none of her underlings or peers question the idea, it's just a very matter-of-fact decision she makes. And it's not treated like some sort of character flaw. I won't spoil how, but her downfall in the second half isn't because of her transition, but because of the half measures she took in faking her death and trying to start a new life, not looping in certain people on her decisions, and attempting similar tactics from her cartel days, only for them to blow up in her face. Emilia Perez is a complicated piece of art. It often swings for the fences, knocking it out of the park in certain areas and falling short elsewhere. It's by no means my favorite film of the year, but if anything I've described or shown on screen interests you, I say give it a shot. Now it's time to talk about that other musical. Thanks for watching.